Okay, the whole purpose of this course is not just make you good team members, but to make you team leaders. So let's talk about that a bit. What makes a good team leader? Okay, we've been kind of talking about team leadership and what it takes to be a leader here, what good teams are, and how to get started with your team. I'm also going to share a little bit about how to use a project management approach to leading a team. So, some new things in this unit. When I was in the Army, we were always taught lead from the front. Don't try to push people into battle. So you want to manage teams diplomatically. We talked a little bit about the super chicken model. In manage up, we're going to talk about going both ways. You're in the middle, right? And be sensitive to the intangibles. We'll talk about what that is, and then we'll conclude some team activities. You might not even want to be a team leader. So ask yourself, is managing others part of your plan? Do you want to do that? And if you're a team leader, you're going to be working the hardest. You've got additional responsibilities. That old colonel said, you work for me, but more than that, you work for your unit. So do you enjoy supporting, teaching, and helping others? And people aren't going to follow idiots, okay? So if you're not an expert in your area, and you're going to lead a team in that area, you lose all credibility if you come up and act like a fool. And what's your motivation for leading the team? Remember, we had the super chickens, right? If it's just to make others look bad, you're not going to be a good team leader. If it's to make others look good, you have a good chance at it. So, what is the typical progression, right? First, you enter a job, and you're going to come in at the lowest rung, and then you learn additional skills, and finally, you're going to lead the team. And leading the team is not the same as the skills you're probably taught. This is additional skills, right? And then finally, you get to manage others. Management's different than leading. Management is basically taking and managing resources, treating people like resources. Leading is motivating those people to do their best. Some steps to being a team leader. Find a role model or a mentor, somebody that you respect who is a leader already. Remember we talked a little bit about West Point. The Army is setting about 42 of the best soldiers and NCOs and officers to do nothing but mentor the cadets to be better leaders. This is important, right? Everybody wants to be like somebody else eventually. Find the right person for that. Volunteer, the more you know, take on additional assignments. Uh, if you've got more than two people in your organization, you've got politics. It's just a fact of life. You want to be trained in it, right? Um, Hopefully, we've got some different theories in here. I try to introduce you some different theories through the class. And here's a big one. Identify your own weaknesses and try to strengthen them. Remember that Dunning-Kruger film? If you think you're a 9 or 10 in something, take a look at it again, okay? So what do you need for leadership? For the organizational skills, obviously. What is expected of the team? What do we want out of this? You create the schedules. Make sure you get things done. Um, I can share with you a Gantt chart. There's some free ones online. Very good way to keep track of a project. And you want people to have a balanced sense. You don't want somebody to feel like they're being dumped on all the time. So you got to balance people and work. Create an identity for a team, and this is huge. They did a study on uh, changing the mascots of football teams or school teams, and also the NFL too. This is huge. This is incredible how important that is. Once a tiger, always a tiger kind of thing. And you got to identify the strength of the team members and how they can fit into the team. And you got to let the company know what the team needs, right? You're going to run shotgun for these things, fly air cover for them. And you also got to present why the company needs this team, all right? There's nothing worse than just being on a team just to be on a team's sake, right? Then people skills, right? Communication, number one issue in any organization. Motivation, we talked about what motivates people. Build trust. You get caught lying one time to a team member, you're screwed. And you want to listen to them, right? Give them a chance to be part of the team. You want to look at the part of the leader. So if I was in politics, I'd be wearing a suit and tie every day. Uh, but you want to look like you're part of that organization. So the organization culture, if I were to wear a suit and tie every day, I'd stick out like a sore thumb, right? But if everybody's wearing jeans and t-shirts and stuff, well, yeah, that might be appropriate for the team leader. But you want to look like you're part of the organization that you're leading, right? If you look separate or look different, there's that mistrust will be developed. Some do's for getting started: keep your feet on the ground. In other words, just don't go flying high pie in the sky kind of thing. Keep grounded a little bit. Get to know your team, right? Again, it's only hopefully 5 to about 9 people. Get to know them. Make sure everybody's got a role in the team, what they're doing, and you want to lead by example. Okay, don't do as I say, do as I do, and pace yourself. Don't burn out on this thing. Some don'ts, right? Don't rush in to take control, fix problems, and establish yourself as a leader. I'll say this: leaders are picked by the team, right? I mean, you might have the position or something, but ultimately it's the team members that pick who the leader of that group is, that team is. If you try to force yourself on it, well, they'll respect you if you have the authority, the positional authority, but you won't be their true leader. There'll be somebody else there. That somebody else could undercut you. Don't try to change everything all at once. Cultures will push back on that. We get comfortable in the way we live, in the way we work. Don't try to change it all at once. Don't try to do the team cast yourself. It's hard to watch people fail, right? If you ever raise a kid, it's hard to watch your kid fail, but that's so important for development. And don't expect team members to show up on time and then show up late yourself. You want to lose credibility. Call a meeting and have everybody wait for you 5 minutes until you walk in. That just irks people, and they'll have no respect for you. They found that people that work a lot of hours don't get a lot done. Balance your work and other life, right? There's more to life than just whatever you're doing on that team. Okay, you want to build some relationships. One is a consensus. Again, this is a decision that we can live with, not necessarily our first choice, but one that everybody can live with. Encourage. There's a trick. If you can figure this out, let somebody fail without them feeling like a failure, right? That's huge. That's huge. You want to make sure everybody's clear on what the goals are, right? What the metrics are. There's going to be conflict. You're going to have to resolve that conflict. It's probably the worst part about anything about being a leader is resolving conflict. And empathy, that's where you feel, you can put yourself, understand how somebody else feels. Empathy. And you support people, right? You fly air cover. Something as simple as in this example, getting a printer for somebody, that goes a long ways to building credibility of the leader. Okay, for project management approach to leadership, define your team's success, and if you can put a hard metric on this thing, right, put a number on it. That's huge. It's like keeping score in a basketball game. And you want to break down the work. You don't want somebody just to do it all. You want everybody to know exactly how they fit in the team and what they're expected to do. And you're going to have to schedule and budget. You're going to have to manage the cost of this thing. And communications. People will get used to however you communicate with them, whether it's through Facebook or social media, or if it's face-to-face via the telephone, text messages, however you do it. Once people learn that's how you communicate, that's what they'll expect to do. In risk management, this is the old cost benefit. If I do this, what will happen? If I do this, what will happen? And you got to be able to put a number on that and make the best decision, right? You can't go willy-nilly and have no chance of success. This is just an example from the book of a project proposal. First of all, they got a purpose. Why does a team even exist? And it's got the objectives, information on new employee needs, describe the policies, outline the steps for completing typical procedures, the scope, who's this going to apply to, and what's going to come out of this whole thing. Well, you got a 32-page training guide, and you got some electronic files they can read. Okay, this is just a sample of the work breakdown. Ultimately, you want the training guide. So what you're looking at are some things that have to be done to get this training guide done. And they got different areas that they have to cover, color coded. And you can imagine that everybody will be assigned parts of this thing to come together as a complete whole. When you're managing a team diplomatically, you want high visibility. You want to be there for the team, right? And you want to get avoid monkeys. These are things that just tie you down that are very unnecessary, right? Um, don't bring your personal problems to the game, right? Uh, keep them personal, and don't criticize ideas, right? Directly. Uh, and this is kind of tricky. It's okay to discuss ideas, but don't rag on the person personally, right? Don't criticize, attack problems, not people. Praise more than correct. 2 or 3 attaboys, attagirls to each one of you rag on somebody. The magic ratio. Surprisingly, you give too many praises, and they lose their effectiveness, right? 2, 3 to 1. Some big don'ts. Don't hide behind a closed door. I mean, stay available. Lead from the front. Don't wait for the team members to come to you. Don't do the work of other people. Okay, that's once you do that, you lose a team, right? And other people will see it and they'll become lazy. Well, Jim didn't do it, so why should I do mine, right? Don't do that. Uh, don't criticize and rag on people in public, okay? Especially if it's personal, right? Conflicts. Uh, don't directly oppose or criticize ideas from team members. Attack problems, right, but not people. And don't yell at somebody, all right? If you can avoid it. If you praise somebody, other people will see that and they'll mimic the copy that got the praise, right? Just watch siblings trying to get the attention of their mother sometime, and I think you'll know what I mean by that. Here's some examples of task management activities out of the book. Describing tasks, mentoring, enforcing the standards, providing information, giving direction, summarizing. These are in the book, so I won't read them, but these are 6 good examples. Some do's. Managing up. This is where you get along with your own management. You got to know your manager. What is his priorities, her priorities? Adopt your manager's communication style, not the other way around. He doesn't have to do the way you want to. You do the way he wants to talk. Uh, don't surprise him. There's nothing worse than surprising your manager. If you got bad news, do it in person. And if you have a problem, come in there with a solution. You'll find that's what managers want to hear. Well, here's my problem. Here's how I propose how to fix it. How cool is that, right? So some don'ts. Communication just doesn't go down the team; it also goes up to management. That's your responsibility as a leader, right? Most managers don't want to hear all the nitty-gritty details; they just want a big picture. Um, don't surprise managers with unexpected information, especially when other people's around. I mean, don't make them look silly. Uh, don't skip the chain of command, right? Make sure you talk about your manager first. Uh, don't send texts or messages to your manager just because you don't want to talk about uncomfortable discussion. Um, do the bad news yourself. Don't send in somebody to do the bad news, and don't wait on. Don't let this thing fester. Here's just some examples out of the book where you come up with a problem and you also come up with a solution. This is what the managers want to hear, right? Yeah, here's the problem, but here's the solution. I'll just let you read these yourself. So what do you want to do to be sensitive to intangibles? Well, you want to make sure you don't play favors. You want to be professional, especially share information that's professionally related to the team. Don't keep secrets. Quality, you'll never go wrong by having a high quality product or quality process. You got to be loyal to your team, right? Don't throw them under the bus, and be honest and ethical. If you get a reputation as being crooked, oh my, um, yeah, I just want to go there. But just always be honest and ethical. Some big don'ts. Again, don't show favoritism or bias towards members of the team. Don't reward others and show benefits to some of the team members. Remember that monkey in the grape video, right? Share all information with all team members. Don't make a gap. Don't steal credit for the team, right? If the team did it, the team gets rewarded. It's not a I, me, or it's us and we kind of thing. And again, don't be a bully. Don't take advantage of someone outside the group. I like this slide a lot, actually. This is a pyramid for success in business teams and preventing problems, they call it. But yeah, prevent problems, you're going to have success. On the bottom of this, you see that it's transparency, right? No secrets, no secrets. And again, they look for fairness. Again, that monkey and the grape kind of thing. And loyalty. If they don't sense you're loyal to the team, they're not going to be loyal to you. And if you treat one person, they find you cheating on something else, they don't trust you. They just won't lose trust, and no matter what you do, right? And finally, you focus on the prize. You can, it's again metrics, 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 metrics. Okay, so you're done with this, right? So it's time to close out this team, right? So you do a closeout report, right? And a good way to do this is what we set out to do, and this is what we did. You learn some lessons from that, document that. And even if nobody reads the document, making the document will reinforce what the people learned during the team. Ask for feedback, right? Not from just the team, but from outsiders, management and everything. See what the team thinks of this thing, how they feel about it. And then you had a formal conclusion. Make sure everybody knows, yes, we're done with this, right? That's the formal conclusion. Okay, this is a closeout report, right? So this is just an example out of the book. So they kicked it off. They draft, they approved, they wrote the training guide, they put it in a proper format, they produced the training guide, they distribute it, and they completed the project, right? And they made sure they hit all the deadlines. So, well, I say that, but to distribute, they missed it by a day, right? And also approved. You need to explain that why and learn what happened, what went wrong. But this is basically what you want for a closeout report. Okay, this is where you start to figure out how do we do as a team? How committed are these people to being team members, right? And not just that you read this, there's some basic questions, but you want commitment ultimately, right? How committed are these team members? You can do it with survey questions, and this is in the book. We've all taken those online surveys, right? There's a couple sites here mentioned, but there's a gazillion of them out there. So if you want to do an online survey, the nice thing about these is you don't have to give somebody's name or anything. It's all totally anonymous. So what you do these online survey tools, you got to design the survey, how you collect responses and analyze results. I've actually made a pretty good living doing this. Part of my living with hospitals, those little survey cards they give you. There's a trick to this. We'll not go into this thing, but there are people in the organization that could probably help you with that. This is just an example of a Zoomerang customer survey. So in summary, right, first of all, make sure you want to be a leader. Make sure you're prepared to be a leader. What to do to start with your team. Project management, you got some goal and you want to eventually get there, right? You want to be more of a coach, not more of a somebody that just beats up somebody, a bully, right? You got to take care of your boss. There's going to be some distractions, some intangibles, and you want to finish this team. When it's time for that team to disband the thing.